Hi everyone. I hope everybody had a great day today in chat. Um, I had a slow day trading and a pretty good day swing trading. So that's in on an odd couple for me. But I am learning. Like I said, I told you a couple weeks ago that I was starting to learn swing trading, and I was going to start taking some swing trades. I feel that once you get to a point to where you're very comfortable with day trading, or if you're a swing trader and you're very comfortable with swing trading, then you can start learning, something else. And that's what I'm doing now. I always want to diversify because you never know when your day trade, you're going to have a slow week day trading and you may have a blowout week swing trading. And that's kind of what happened today. My week day trading has been slow. I had one good trade yesterday that it was a higher price stock, so I couldn't size up, and I only made, you know, like $300. I don't even think I made my daily goal yesterday. I think it was 300, a little over $300, and my daily goal is 350. My minimum daily goal is 350. So, but we'll get into that in a little bit. The first trade I took this morning was Netflix. I was watching HON, but it didn't really set up for the opening range trade that I like. So I just left it alone, didn't touch it. Netflix was the first ticker or that hit my reversal scan. And I know how this trades. I don't like trading Netflix. And I've said it time and time again. And you rarely see me touch Netflix or Facebook, things that can turn on a dime and then just make explosive moves. I typically stay away from. But I like this because it gave the opportunity, because of the explosiveness is the reason why I liked it. I felt it tested this level 3 times, and I felt confident that this thing was going to move, but it didn't. Well, actually, it tested it twice before I got in. It tested here and tested here, and this level held both times. So as this stock started to push up, I chased it a little, and I got in a couple hundred shares at 97.46. And I figured if this thing popped and ran a point or a point and a half on 200 shares, I'd be good. I'd take that to start the day off with. But it pulled back in, and because I was only in 200 shares, I added in. So that was part of my plan anyway, that if it pulled back and tested this level again, I would add in. And, once it confirmed, I may look to add some more so I could get in full size. But this is why I don't really go in full size when I'm trading a stock that I know can turn on a dime and run away from you. So I added in, I had my average, I think at that time was like 97.26 or 97.24. And I felt, that was good. I could risk off this 97.07 level. And you could see what this thing did. It never really, when the 9 took this nosedive here, I knew I was in trouble. And I just kind of waited and hoped at that point, because I know this thing can turn and pop. And it never did. And when I started seeing these sellers stacking up, I went ahead and got out. I felt that it wasn't, something to fool me. I felt these were legitimate orders that were starting to stack up on the bid. So, on the ask. So I went ahead and got out here at 97.01. Not that big of a loss. I think almost 25 cents on, well, I think I lost 23 cents on 400 shares. So that's not a bad loss. Any loss is not good, but I'm okay with losing that because that's well within my risk per trade. So I did my job. I stopped out when I realized the trade wasn't going my way and just moved on from it. But the good thing that happened today was one of my swing trades, the one that I entered yesterday. And if you watched my recap video yesterday, I talked about this trade, you know, where I entered it, why I entered when I did, and what level I was looking for it to push first. And when I in chat this morning, I went, I put in that I was looking for it to push this 49.71 level and get into this window, and I'd have a pretty smooth ride up to the 52s, which is where I wanted to cover. That was my target. And you can see yesterday I got a decent move up and above this level. And I was expecting it today to push through this ascending triangle, the top, this level, and, start to work. Well, I have all of my swing trades, I have just daily charts up. You don't look at swing trades intraday. I think I talked about that yesterday. No, that's a good way of getting yourself scared out of swing trades before they can work, or taking profit too early. And in this case, I glanced over and I thought there was something wrong with the chart, because I looked at it and it had this one all the way up to 52.38, but it wasn't moving. And I was like, what happened to this chart? So then I went to the intraday, and the only time you really switch to an intraday is when you're looking to exit. When the stock has hit your level and you're looking to exit. So I clicked on it, and sure enough, I'm looking at this candle right here, and it's stuck at 52.38. It's not moving, it's halted. So it was halted on a circuit breaker. And, I wasn't too nervous because I knew it had to fall all the way back down to, 46, 48, 60, which was my entry. So I figured I could get out, if by it coming back. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, I'm licking my chops. I'm like, as soon as this opens, I'm going to cover half before this thing falls. And I'm just going to let the other half work, because this is practically at my target, where I wanted to take all the profits. So it opened, and I tried my best to get filled from 52 all the way back down to 51.75. And I could not get filled. So I just said, okay, fine. I just wait, sit on my hands, see if it gives me another, chance to get out here at 52, which is where I wanted to take profits. My first profit. So I got up 52.05. I think it was somewhere in here on this candle. 52.05. I got out, took half my profit, and I still got half in. And that, this is a classic case of you having a bad day trading, but then a swing trade comes in, and I've got my goal for the week. So if I didn't take another trade all week, it would not hurt me, because I know I'm at my daily goal, my weekly goal. So and then on top of that, I still have half my position going. So right now where I'm at, I'm looking for it to push back over this level tomorrow. I'm going to keep my eye on it to see if it can test it. Earnings is, I think, on the 28th. So if I hold it, if it keeps going up, I'll hold it to, again, right before earnings, and I'll get out. I don't want to hold through earnings, so I've done that and been lucky before in the past, but eventually your luck's going to run out. So I'll look at it tomorrow to see where it's at, what it's doing pre-market, and, just kind of decide where I'm going to go from there based on how it looks tomorrow morning. It's already at my goal, so, anything above where it's at now is just gravy. My other swing, HUN, I got in here last week, I think Thursday, and right at this ascending triangle. And both of these, if you see on this trade, and let me go back to CAB, these are both ascending triangle setups. But you see, CAB has it was more of a flat top, and then you've got the bottom leg of the triangle just running up almost in a parabolic move. But this is still considered an ascending triangle. And I was looking for it to break out of this. And usually when it breaks out of this triangle, you're going to get a nice run up. And this, I can't tell you why I took it with all of these levels, but it was a lower dollar stock that I could buy a lot more shares of. So if I got a smaller move, I could still make decent money. It's what my mindset was. I planned on taking half off up here at 1520s, and just kind of held this other half to see if it gets over it. So I did have an order out today on this if it ran up, because it was making a nice strong move up. Let me blow it up. It was making a strong move up earlier in the day, and I thought we might get it, especially after I saw what CAB did. So I did put an order out up here for half to cover half my position, but I mean, it never did hit. And on these, I just put a hard order out to sell. It was to where it would close. The order would expire at the close of the market. So it never did hit it. So tomorrow I'll be looking for the same thing. I'll have an order out to cover half here in the 1520s if it gets up that far. The other one that I shared with you was RY. It's not the right one. RY. Got in this one last week too on Thursday. This was a higher dollar one, and I got in it late. I got in it the day after it broke out. I really should have got in it on this day, but I only got in half, went in half, and I'm looking for a 62 up here. So I'm only in 500 shares on this, and I'm looking for it to get 62. So I won't take half out. If it gets up here to 62, 61, I'll close out this whole position. So I'll be good on that. The way it looks, it might gap up and get me there tomorrow. I mean, if the market continues to do what it's been doing, swing trades are working great. Now, I did have a question about how I find these swing trades, so I'm going to go over that with you real quick. And I use FinViz. Now, back in the day when I was making watch lists at night, I would use FinViz. And I just went back to it because it's something I was familiar with. And I'm sure that what I'm doing on here, I can do on Thinkorswim. I just need to learn. I didn't learn a lot of the swing trading scans on Thinkorswim. And I know Thinkorswim was designed for swing trades. So I'm pretty sure I can find everything I need to find on Thinkorswim. But for right now, I'm using FinViz because I'm familiar with it and it's easy. And you know me, I'm a simple trader. I like to keep things simple and basic. And as long as simple and basics working for me, that's what I'm going to continue using. And it's working. All right. So the first thing, I don't want to see any stocks less than 750,000 shares of volume. I could put 1 million, but the market has been light, so I'm not really concerned about that. I can put a price in here, over $10 if I want to. I don't think you really need it because on this next one, I don't do any fundamentals. I know, which is kind of crazy if you swing trading, but I don't really care about fundamentals. I'm just trading technical charts. And, I do look at the news, so I guess I do have some fundamentals. But for the most part, it's technical. ATR, I'm looking at over $1. And the pattern is the ascending triangle. The ascending triangle, and you can do both. You can do regular ascending triangle. That's going to give you more hits if you want to go through a lot of that. But I like the strong ascending triangle, and I like to narrow it down that way. And I can quickly, right now, look at a chart and tell you whether it's worth me trading or not. Because, and on this chart, I'm going to click it so you can see what I'm looking at. I'm looking to see if I'm getting a bump in volume here. As this is moving up to test this level, and I could look at this and see we've got multiple levels here, where it's tested, around that area, and it's making higher lows here. So this told me that this was a highly probable trade. This had potential to break out of that ascending triangle. Now, where do I see the ascending triangle? It's on this chart here. Go back to CAB. Because CAB is late. This is kind of when I saw RY after it had broken out. But see, this is the level. These are the levels that it was touching. And I could see that on that chart. So I knew right off the bat CAB was going to be on my watch without even having to do any other research. CAB was going to be on my watch. INTU struggling a little bit. The volume is a little low. It's less than 1 million shares. And the price action is not that great. It's looking like it's more consolidating. But it is making a little higher low. So it may be poised to break out of 105. But I'm going to give it another day. I'm not going to put it on my watch. Plus, I don't have any more room to take any more swings anyway. So I'll just have to wait. Hopefully it'll be ready when I'm ready. MDT, this is already broken out, but it's a little choppy for me. It's not a smooth trading chart. So I'm not going to be interested in it. Maybe later on when I get more experience in swings, I can do it. But, that's just a little bit too much for me right now. PSXP, don't like that chart. Look at all of the wicks to the top side of it. I just don't. Not a good looking daily chart. SAP, this is another one that chops and gaps around. I don't really like it. And the reason being, I could get in this thing and it can gap down. It could gap up, but it can gap down. And if it's a gappy stock, I don't want to take that chance on getting in a stock and it gaps up or gaps down on me if I, the wrong way. So this isn't a daily chart that I like. So CAB was the only one. There was another one on here too, but I think it's moved to this one now. Bud was another one that piqued my interest. But because it was a little choppy and the price was so high, I kind of stayed away from it. But had I got 100 shares down here, or a couple hundred shares, and it gapped up like that today, I would have made a couple $100 pretty quick. Just that easy. Baba was something that we were day trading today. And look, this one is primed for a flat top breakout. And it if I had the buying power, I might try this. Let me look and see how it looks here. This hit our reversal scanner today. Nah, probably not. Don't really like that chart. Plus, it's too much, up here, so that's not good. So I wouldn't look at that. But that's how I go through, and I find the stocks that I want to swing trade. Is it this real big, illustrious swing trading strategy? No, it's something simple, and it's a proven strategy that's been used by a lot of professional traders, and it has a high probability of success. Can it fail? Yeah, I've seen several fail, but case in point, we can go back to CAB, because I was looking at this earlier. Here's an ascending wedge right here, ascending triangle. It failed to break out. You see what happened? And blow it up a little bit. Here we had 3 points. Again, we had multiple points converging. It couldn't break this level, and it went down. So you can trade these to the downside. I don't think I'll ever short or be comfortable shorting on a swing trade, but here's a case in point where you can go the other way with it. It failed to push this level, and went the other way. That was a big move down. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Only took 7 days. But you'd have to be cash on it, or else you'd be concerned that if you were using margin or margined out on this thing and you didn't have the cash, you could easily be bought back in. But that's all I have for today. I just wanted to show you real quick how I can get in and find my my swing trades. And it sounds like my dogs are ready to eat, so I'm gonna have to go give them some food. But I hope everybody has a great evening, a great night, and I will see everybody tomorrow in chat.